Isn't it peculiar, this matter of Charles Gasparino's posts on MMTLP and his selective focus on the December 7th PR from Metamaterials? This is a question that begs an answer, as there seems to be a discrepancy that's hard to ignore. On December 8th, Metamaterials released another PR that announced that FINRA had revised the MMTLP Corporate Action. If Gasparino as a reporter is committed to spreading the truth, why then would he concentrate solely on the PR that includes an obsolete corporate action at the time of the U3 halt? Obsolete? Yes, indeed. The December 7th PR, despite originating from Metamaterials, was merely an announcement to investors that FINRA had processed the MMTLP corporate action the previous day. In this PR, Metamaterials provided the wording of the corporate action as posted by FINRA in their daily list. However, Metamaterials also included a disclaimer, clarifying that the FINRA disclosure and dates regarding the trading of MMTLP in connection with the distribution of shares of NextBridge Hydrocarbons superseded and replaced all of Meta's previous disclosures regarding the logistics and timing of the trading. In other words, the December 7th PR was essentially Metamaterials announcing FINRA's posting from the day before, saying the dates and wording regarding the logistics and timing of the trading of MMTLP from FINRA superseded all prior dates and disclosures from Metamaterials. Why was this disclaimer included in both the December 7th and December 8th releases? It's likely because the MMTLP corporate actions posted by FINRA were not consistent with the previous dates and disclosures from Metamaterials. The initial corporate action from December 6th included a December 13th share cancellation date and effective date, which were inconsistent with the November 18th prospectus from NextBridge Hydrocarbons that included a December 14th share cancellation date and a December 14th distribution date. The November 23rd PR from Metamaterials, referenced by FINRA in their March 16th FAQ as announcement, was also inconsistent with the December 6th corporate action posted by FINRA. The December 6th corporate action included an effective date, equivalent to a distribution date, tied to the incorrect 0 hour of December 13th, a date not mentioned in any previous disclosures. Could it be that the Metamaterials corporate action submission to FINRA had a last-minute change to a December 13th date? This seems unlikely, as a November 30th social media post from then Metamaterials CEO George Palikaras mentioned only two dates, December 12th and December 14th. When FINRA revised the MMTLP corporate action on December 8th, they did not include or refer to a share cancellation date, a pay distribution date, or the record date terminology, though they did include the December 12th date. To summarize, Charles Gasparino's selective focus on the December 7th PR from Metamaterials, despite the existence of a subsequent PR and discrepancies in dates and disclosures, raises questions about the accuracy and completeness of his posts. The inconsistencies between FINRA's corporate actions and Metamaterials' previous disclosures add to the confusion, and the absence of key dates in FINRA's revised corporate action only deepens the mystery. FINRA claims that they revised the MMTLP corporate action on December 8th to clarify that it was FINRA's role to delete the MMTLP symbol on December 13th, rather than to cancel the shares. But when you look at the rest of the corporate action, how would anyone know the other important dates? Where's the share cancellation date? Where's the pay/distribution date? Where's the record date terminology? Why does the effective date still manage to align with the 0 hour of December 13th? By not including this information, this corporate action violated SEA Rule 10b-17. If by referencing the December 6th corporate action at the beginning of the December 8th corporate action FINRA meant to imply that everything else from the initial corporate action still applied, then we're still in a situation where FINRA never provided the correct MMTLP share cancellation date, nor the correct effective date of the corporate action, which both should have taken place at the end of the December 14th stock market trading day. FINRA finally confirms that indeed December 14th was the correct MMTLP share cancellation date, but it took them more than 3 months to do so in their March 16th MMTLP FAQ. This confirms that the initial disclaimer from Metamaterials in their December 7th PR was their way of saying they had nothing to do with the changes to the December 13th MMTLP share cancellation and effective dates. It should also be noted that in none of the disclosures prior to the December 8th MMTLP corporate action revision was symbol deletion ever mentioned. I'm also yet to see another example of an exchange corporate action where symbol deletion is included. Knowing what we know now, we can re-examine the events related to the MMTLP corporate actions, and we can draw logical conclusions based on factual information. We'll begin with the December 6th corporate action. Based on FINRA's March 16th FAQ, we know that the MMTLP shares were cancelled on December 14th, 2022. This is consistent with the November 18th prospectus from NextBridge Hydrocarbons and the November 23rd PR from Metamaterials. So why did FINRA use a December 13th share cancellation date? Rather than making an assumption, let's look at how FINRA revised the MMTLP corporate action on December 8th to see if the answer is obvious. Remember, we know from the November 18th prospectus, the November 23rd Metamaterials PR, and we know from the March 16th, 2023 FAQ from FINRA that the MMTLP share cancellation date was supposed to be December 14th. So why didn't FINRA include the correct MMTLP share cancellation date on the revised MMTLP corporate action? FINRA didn't include any mention of share cancellation, they instead include MMTLP symbol deletion, and they keep the December 13th date for symbol deletion. FINRA also removes the portion about the pay/distribution date occurring on December 14th. This is an odd change because it was one of the things that was consistent with the prior disclosures. Not everyone is a fan of repetition, but I believe it can't be said enough. FINRA had an opportunity to include the correct December 14th MMTLP share cancellation date, but instead they chose not to. Because of this, the investing public and FINRA's member firms were falsely under the impression that December 13th was the new MMTLP share cancellation date. This is evidenced by these communications from TD Ameritrade and Charles Schwab that continued to reference a December 13th date. There's no way to sugarcoat it, FINRA deceived the investing public and their member firms. This deception continued in the December 9th UPC halt notice for MMTLP as well. The halt notice informed the public that the halt of MMTLP would end concurrently with the deletion of the MMTLP symbol on December 13, 2022. FINRA then provides a link to the revised MMTLP corporate action that says the MMTLP symbol will be deleted on December 13th. Deceptively, FINRA includes this quote from the S1 related to share cancellation on the same notice. Immediately after the spin-off, all shares of Series A non-voting preferred stock of Meta shall be cancelled. There's no explanation why FINRA included this, but since they didn't include a date in the section of the halt notice dedicated to share cancellation, the impression is that symbol deletion and share cancellation were both to occur on December 13th. FINRA continues to sell this illusion when you click the link to the S1 that FINRA provided on the halt notice. It takes you here to a version of the S1 that doesn't include dates. Underlined near the bottom, you can observe the line quoted in the halt notice, but there was no reason for FINRA to link to this version of the S1 other than to continue the deception that the share cancellation date was now December 13th. Again, the halt notice came on December 9th. The November 18th prospectus from NextBridge also included the line quoted on the halt notice, but it also included the correct December 14th MMTLP share cancellation date. FINRA's whole justification for U3 halting MMTLP was due to settlement and clearance, with a December 14th MMTLP share cancellation date, a December 14th pay/distribution date, and a December 14th effective date, all occurring at the end of the day. There'd be no argument for a settlement issue. The one day that FINRA had control of choosing was the MMTLP symbol deletion date, but there was no valid reason for them to choose a day before the December 14th share cancellation date unless their goal was to confuse, in my opinion. The evidence also points to the fact that FINRA didn't even delete the MMTLP symbol until February 16, 2023, and when they did, they backdated the deletion code to December 13, 2022. Conveniently, FINRA used the coding error excuse to explain why the D1 deletion code didn't appear until more than 2 months after they claimed to have deleted the MMTLP symbol. Go figure. These topics and more are explored in a 2-hour video titled, How and Why FINRA Manipulated the MMTLP Corporate Actions Part 3. It will be linked below this post.